NATO phonetic alphabet.
It's the what?
Something, I think it's the NATO phonetic alphabet, something like that. That's what you use when you're flying.
Alright, I'll try to read this.
Zach and I we were on the FAA website where you can reserve tail numbers for planes, and we were trying to get the shortest ones possible, so like Papa Papa Tango 2, Papa Papa 1 2. 1 2 Papa Tango. And we were deciding what our favorite letters are, like when you're flying, these are the words that you use for the alphabet. Unless you're in Atlanta, you can't use Delta, you have to use Dixie, because there are too many deltas. We decided that.
Oh, those are like. Oh, okay.
It's the alphabet.
Yeah.
For aviation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Foxtrot, Tango.
Yeah. And then they're ranked from top to bottom to what our favorites are. So like Papa Tango, Echo, we think are cool. Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, we think these all suck, and those are just removed. We're like, we're never
Bravo is another good one.
We think we're gonna lose those. We hate those. We had a reason. We spent like 3 or 4 hours on it, and then we naturally stayed Julia and Olivia together.
So tonight, or last night at Rachel's, there was this Russian stripper, and I started talking to her about Dostoevsky, and she was like, wow, I've never met an American who, who's ever, right? So get this I wrote like 2 months ago. Go fast, don't die. I never met anyone like you in America who reads. Russian women all had to read Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Pushkin. They love Bulgakov. They never talk about Chekhov. I know lots of Americans who read. No, I never met. Life hack, read Russians. The women know Pelavin too. Act like you're going to get laid. Realize nothing will make you happy. Realize all of life has already happened. Be happy now because it's all downhill from here. On the way out the door, I give Pete, the bouncer, a $20 dance chip. Working here 3.5 years, I never got one of these before. I never got one till me gave me one the other night, the other bouncer says. And then it is just me and the strippers in their sweatpants in the parking lot. Strippers look best in sweatpants, leaving work under a cloudy full moon sky just before sunrise. That's when they really shine. If you can make a joke at my expense, you get 1 point. That's a different thing. I'll just skip around. The whole thing is like schizophrenic. It's like a Lil Wayne verse. It doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end. He says this, he says that, he says this, he says that. He just jumps around. So I might as well jump around while I read it. I am less likely to fuck up when I'm expensive, bitter and then sweet, and later bitter again. All right. Evan pointed to the top arm of a 50-foot tree with no leaves at the top. Oh, if you had a tree fort and you sit up there reading and a plane flies by and some tourists looking out their window sees you, but you don't see them and they never see you again. But still, you're linked forever because your energies crossed paths. He then went and told me about a principle of quantum physics that I had heard before, but I let him tell me anyway because it's always good to be reminded. And besides, we were standing at the 3rd story of an outdoor wooden staircase, contemplating a treehouse in a 50-foot tree 2 plots away under the Key West sky, and the sun was backstage waiting for its...
Wait, sorry.
Eve.
You stayed in one of the tree houses in the Keys?
No. The sun was backstage waiting for its cue. And that's true friendship. Standing outside of the door, your hands full of snacks from CVS, talking about trees and quantum physics, not even eating yet. Like true fandom is listening to Howard Stern in your driveway after your commute, even though you really gotta poop and the bathroom's indoors, but you just gotta hear more Howard. I'll tell you about it later.
That rhymed. That was good. That even rhymed. It was good.
Not a poem, bro.
It should be a lyric. You just sing. Bert, you should read this in a more... Okay, constructive criticism. I like the way you're reading it, but imagine if you read it in kind of like a poetic, like flowing way, not like more like you read like really fast.
Yeah.
So if you read it in like a more like poetic, chill way to music, it'd be like they do that. They like it's gonna sound weird. Jehovah's Witnesses, they do these things at their church where like they literally read the Bible, but they have like music and like they make like
go quick. That's like
it's meant to be quick.
Well, the Bible is in verse. So there's verse and there's prose. Prose, the line ends when the page ends.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you read it... Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. But if you read it like a story... Yeah, do what you're doing. Sorry. I was just trying to come up with something.
I think that's sick, and you're right. And you know what else? You said it rhymed. I didn't even hear the rhyme.
Really?
I still don't know what
Definitely.
rhymed.
It definitely rhymes.
I have no idea. Alright. I'll tell you about it later. Eventually, the universe burped us off the stairs and into the door behind us. We walked 10 feet to my room, which was bolted, unlocked. Isn't it nice to write outside on a bar with the wind blowing your notebook, your two hands holding down the most important part, blasting your portions of your past-filled pages, showing you corners of your blank ones yet to come, with the present pressed down between your two hands. One word, no one letter, no one quark at a time. And in my room with the bolt-open door, the one that means I feel a hotel's my home, the wind blew the window curtains back and forth, and Evan said the universe was talking to us. And this third-story room was born 1884, and the energy of all the things that have happened around this room or on the street out this window, this energy is accepting us, at least. What would it look like if it did not accept us? I don't want to know, Evan said, and both of us laughed. And I thought no energy is bad or good. It's all just energy. Oh wait, until I tell you about 10 hours earlier. When I called 911 after I saw a stranger have a seizure. Since we're speaking of the Holy Spirit after all. I thought he was acting at first. When I saw him out of the corner of my eye, I was struck by his energy. That's why I looked. I sensed a great actor who was launching himself into a role. I sensed a great egoless entertainer, as though a ballerina on a dance floor suddenly pirouetted in my peripheral. And I looked closer right at him, and his face turned from brown to yellow to white, and his neck cranked up to the ceiling as though attached to a noose, and I was on a tab of acid. I caught the fear. His friends, all of them clearly under 25, froze, not knowing what to do. "Call 911!" I screamed, then pulled out my phone and called it myself. I ran out to the street, hanging up, thinking, never call 911 from your own phone, from my Coco D experience. And I hung up after 2 rings and ran around in a panic on Duval Street, looking for a paramedic, and my phone buzzed, 911 calling back, and I picked up in a panic. "You have to come. The Cuban restaurant on Duval. Some kid had a seizure. On Duval. Shit, what's the address? The Cuban restaurant." I took a deep breath, for my panic wasn't helping, and ran my eyes over 10 signs on the building, looking for the name of the Cuban place. "Hold on, let me run inside and check." I dashed down the alley. I heard, "He's okay. He's gonna be okay." "Never mind, he's okay. We'll call back if we need you." Ask me if I like this song. I like every song. Yes, some I deliberately listen to, and some I just hear someone else playing. I like every word spoken, but I don't speak them all, unless you're only looking at this page. But if your mind responded with quick comebacks of agreement or rebuke to my words, then I don't speak alone. You, reader, speak with me. Close your eyes. Use your mind. Want to know how to make women chase you? Don't chase them. I'll tell you later. Get ready to explode.
I wrote that. Thanks for copying my work, bud.
It's funny. You know I wrote that shit like months ago, right?
Really?
Yeah.
What I wrote was like basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's called parallel thinking.
That's funny.
Yeah. All the old books, all the old wisdom, like Jesus sounds like Buddha, you know what I mean? Like when you're in the vein, you're in the vein. You feel me?
That's funny.
Yeah.
You really wrote that way before I wrote what?
I mean, dude, I filled this entire notebook and this is like the 5th page.
Wait, Max, did you hear what I wrote about that?
Yeah, the same thing. Don't chase them.
Oh,
No, dig this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Want to know how to make women chase you? Don't chase them. Yeah, last
Step
night.
1.
The other night, it was, how to attract beautiful women. And yours was like, step 1, don't.
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Max, can you grab me a beer, please?
I think there's 1 or 2 left.
Dude, that's funny. We're connected through string cheese theory of the universe.
Yeah, well, like it's like Tolstoy said, all happy families are the same, but every unhappy family is unhappy in its own unique way.
Exactly.
But we're happy, so we're the same. Let's see what happens, huh? Oh, nice. That wasn't on camera, or was it? Fuck you. Alright. I love coughing in public. You know what's funny? I always flushed public toilets with my feet. How did no one conceptualize germ theory before Semmelweis? You know what's funny? I did that little bump of that shit, and then I was like, wow, I feel insecure. I just did that on the camera. I'm such a loser. Wow. And then I looked down, and I saw Semmelweis capitalized, like, oh, I made some reference to history. And then I was like, I'll read that part on the camera.
So you just skipped it?
No, so it's like, yeah, he's doing that shit, but he knows who Semmelweis is. It's like, all right, well,
Who is?
Semmelweis. He was a doctor, and he was like, we should wash our hands in between patients, okay? And nobody had thought of this before. And they did it for a little bit, and everybody got better. Like, the people stopped getting...
People didn't die after surgery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Exactly. But then they got, like this human weird ego thing kicked in, and people didn't like him, and they stopped doing it because they were laughing at him.
They were doing it on purpose.
Bro, they
to mock
rejected him. Yeah. I'm not kidding. And people died. They rejected him. They fucked it up, and he died, and like forgotten. And he's a faggot. And then years later, they came out with germ theory, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he was right." That's what we're dealing with. When you're dealing with a human being, and you're having difficulty with them. That's what we're dealing with. Okay, think about how dumb the average person is. Half of the people are dumber than that. Okay, look, this is what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people who could watch ships come in all over the horizon when they lived on a city on the Mediterranean. They could watch a ship come in over the horizon and still believe the earth was flat because the church told them so. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. Okay. Now, let's read. Travel time. There was so much more to say about Key West. Cassie, the Olympic goalie turned burnout. Andy, the leader of the young hot bartender brigade. Nayli, the hottest of all the bartenders who refused to bear my child. And the trees, the incomparable foliage, especially in front of the government buildings. But all that went behind me, left in the rental car. What was that?
Sorry, that line was amazing. She refused to bear my child.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, it was great.
That's funny. What's next? If I ever get a tattoo, it will be the first I can think of. Done at the nearest tattoo parlor. The same way I buy a house or apartment. On site. I walk in this bitch with my gun out. She thought I was pulling my cock out.
That's another rhyme. God, dude.
No, that's a rap lyric.
That is a rap lyric.
Because I'm writing in a strip club and I heard that lyric and I just inserted it into my shit because it's sick. You know what I mean? It's like I'm sampling it. What's next? I love everyone, half-wit. I love everyone. Every half-wit undergrad trying to be intelligent, misusing the word ironic. Every old widow trying to be intelligent, telling you her opinion that she heard on the TV. TV. I love schizophreno hobos swinging wood planks around downtown LA, although I keep my distance from them. I especially love every post lady. They have such nice legs from walking everywhere, and they're nice, and they know all the business owners and all the letters they hold in their arms. Those stacks of white envelopes look like a baby. Sweet baby postage, bringing newborn news to the neighborhood. Bills and sales and advertisements, love letters, court summons, death taxes, and Christmas cards. And the mail lady, the sexy, sculpted legs of the midwife mail lady, carrying it all around, bringing like a bodhisattva or Chiron, crossing you across the river Styx and remaining on his boat to ferry others to the other side. Buddha did this too, and so do elevator attendants and taxi drivers, and so in a different way does the mail lady, because she has better legs and ass than all those other people.
You can finish these, you know. You don't have to keep skipping the table. Skipping the page.
I want this tall one, I've decided. I'll say something to her. I don't know what it will be, but I will mean every word of it. And all my slouches and slurs she's seen will scatter like shadows when the sun shines above. When I'm confident, sexy, cool, like the little crabs that scurry into their holes when a human, or I presume anything larger than a mini crab, walks down the beach. What was I about to say? If you sit still long enough in nature, or if you walk slow and careful enough near an animal, it won't scurry away. Isn't that insane? How much you see of life if you resist crashing through it. Why do people shout so loud when they're just beside you? I can hear you just fine.
Everyone tonight.
Eddie talks loud, but he used to be in a band and his ears are blown out. That's why, from all the amps on stage.
Wait, Ed was in a band?
Yeah, Eddie was in a band for like
Was he really?
for
Shut up,
15
you're
years.
fucking lying.
I'm not
Shut up.
fucking with you. He was a roadie, and that's why he shouts, because his ears are all fucked up. It wasn't in a band, but he was a roadie. Growing up.
I didn't say it.
From like age 10 to 25. So his ears are blown out by the amps. I ignored you. Ugh, my grandma's calling. And you were an annoying fucking bitch. But when I had the patience to accept what a retarded faggot you were, addicted to pills you swore were in drugs because the doctor gave them to you.
Stop flipping out.
Ha 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 ha. There is no way that any old person will ever take the time to read all these little words. Just for context clues. It's like this.
That's funny.
Okay. There is no way that any old person will ever take the time to read all these little words I write. Are you crazy? This many little words and this many hidden message? No one will ever go through the trouble of reading all that I have to write in this small of handwriting. Has anyone turned the page around like this before? I cannot imagine there are enough words in the English language to describe the innovation I've just made. I know there certainly aren't enough letters. I have a feeling someone has done this all before. Never mind. I despair again. I have not cracked the veil of existence and created an art that brings immortality. There is this stripper who calls herself Satan. She is a cleaning lady in the rich part of town. I can tell she is a cleaning lady because she wants everyone to have fun. She isn't mean on the job. How are you? I'm good. Don't lie, tell him. I'm tired. Fuck yourself with a cactus. I can smell your pussy when I play your voice note. Guys, you may fuck hotter girls than I do, but I fuck cooler girls than you do. I should include the story of the Cinderella Doc Martin boot they kept for 3 weeks at the San Jose FBO, and I kept the other one for just sentimental good luck or something like that. And the bag guy saw my boot and recognized its partner was in his office, and my shoes were reunited, or all the times my wallet was found in the hookah shop in Bear Assets parking lot by Alan, who said, "Whose cool Prince wallet is this?" Oh, it's Burke's, goddammit. When the mailman found my wallet and messaged me on Facebook, which I think I recounted, recorded, wrote down. When those people found it at the bar below Garden of Eden, and I wanted the attention of the bartender who was ignoring me in the Key West style because I was being demanding as though I should cut the line, which they love in New York but hate in Key West. And those people overheard me and had my wallet and quizzed me on who I was before they gave it to me. Me said, "Who are you?" Or they said, or he said, or whatever. I can't read my handwriting. And I said my name, address. There's a pack of Camel No Filter cigarettes in my card and ID. And I saw them the next night, and they had found someone else's wallet and returned that one too. Crazy. Kindness. Do the white thing. I shouldn't talk about race. It will enrage the low IQ, violent darkies. But maybe they're not as dumb as they seem. Maybe I'm dumber than I seem. Maybe we can get along. Pool table, I play whatever rules you play. Helps me get along easily. Sometimes they take advantage of me, bend the rules in their favor. I don't mind. If that guy needs to win this pool game that bad, in my mind, there's nothing I can do to make my life better or make me better or to make the life any more. Why? I can't read this handwriting. Why burn bullshit? Why burn a bullshit smile into my face? You can take my turn. I am you. When I shoot. When I look cool, you look cool. Be kind and calm and listen. And when you talk, don't be boring, that's all. This is boring. Stay humble, stay nice, stay hating yourself, and that's it. It's not so hard. Life is not going to get better. You are. You're going to get better in every way, every day. Stay humble, stay nice, drink water. The women will be yours. Just get out there and say something you believe, even if it's just, I don't know, you know? Never tell the whole truth unless you have the time. Otherwise, I have Android because everyone else has Apple. No need to tell everyone about the BlackBerry OS saga. Just tell them about yourself. You like to be different. Post ugly stuff on Instagram. Treat every woman, man, and object like a supermodel. Treat the whole world delicately like you are a museum curator or an environment conservationist, but you conserve everything. Everything is the environment, not just the trees and coral. The Argentinians believe the last one to arrive. The last to arrive to the party is the coolest. The cooler, perhaps, don't show up. I never been a pussy cause my hoe would never let me. A made nigga, I got made niggas with me. I gotta write something about Alan, the glue that holds bare assets together, before I leave here.
The glue.
Isn't it funny how you do the greatest stuff without trying? Funny how autistic people like me, probably because I like them, repeating little sayings, idioms, bits of wisdom all the time. Wow, that stripper really has a great ass. Probably what my mom's looked like. Skin so clear, she sees me staring. You need some inspiration, she asks. Now her ass is on my elbow. Skin so smooth, she bounces, one muscular ass cheek. Her arms so muscular, her tits small. She barely uses the pole, prancing, showing off. Watching her makes my posture better, relaxes my shoulders. The effect I want my words to have on people, her body has on me. Is it the mushrooms, the lighting, or are the girls in here hot? The red-purple glow of the lights coloring my white pages in black ink. The cocktail waitress who jumped in my pool earlier leans over to watch me write. God, there are some pretty asses in here. But pretty because they're young. You can already see the cellulite forming. Unlike tits, asses are not beautiful simply because they are young. Asses require practice and posture. The obsession with breasts is mostly American anyways. Breasts get big when you get her pregnant. You like big tits because you are a child. I like them too. Titty fucking is best when she is on her knees and you are seated. Some fake tits feel good, but all of them look stupid. Stripper who just read my writing falls when she walks off stage. I'm engaged with the cocktail waitress by now. Alan has told the stripper to stop reading my notebook and start dancing again. Her song ends, she walks off stage, the 5-inch, 6-inch heel wobbles and falls, and so does she, and she laughs way too long after it happens. Alan, the benevolent bouncer, watches me play Rasputin with the strippers. They kneel before me and tell me my handwriting is beautiful. Wave their tattoos in front of me, ink for ink. They touch my hair. Something. Again. They touch my hair. Once, it's fine. Again, I pull away. Why? I am in love with her and her with me. For my handwriting and my rings. Me, I like her cheeks when she smiles and her eyes. But I deny her. And far from her expecting money, she walks away ashamed. Hashtag me too'd a bit. The stripper. I pulled away from her, she felt like a predator. Like an ugly old Jew. Write down what just happened between us, says the next stripper, who watched me write about the last. I told her I sell my writings and I'm famous. She said, if you're famous, why don't you have any money? I said, I'm not that famous yet. I just started. I said, do you want a ring? She said, yes. It fit her pointer finger, my pinky ring. I tugged on it to make sure. It fit. She was going to keep it. Is it real silver? She asked. Yes, I said. I pulled off my other pinky ring. You want this one? I asked. I looked at the one she had on. She took it off. I dangled the other one and stuck out my open palm. She gave the ring back. I put both rings on. You gonna write about this? It's quite boring. She said hi. I had no money. I gave her a ring. I took it back. I interrupted her. I took off another ring and tricked her into handing the first one back to me. Write it down, she said. It's interesting. Then she told me her name was Natalie. Then she told me that was her stripper name. All right.